history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you? All right. Who's responsible here?
What's that?
Who's responsible here? Whose house is this?
Whose house is this?
Yeah. Been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay. Drive careful, okay?
Thank you.
This is with the other group that ran away.
Oh, really? You just ditched it? Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car. The other ones.
It's truly for the win.
That I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay? They all knew about it.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
I see noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.
This November 29th.
Whoopsies. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you are. To the transparency thanks you. It's almost Christmas time. How many people are working today? How many people are off today? How many people don't know what they're doing today? Again, good morning. Oh boy. I just can't stop being sick. Just when I think I get better. I am going to drop the link. Want to hear from you guys on this lovely Friday. We got some phone calls to make, but here we go. Want to hear from you guys if you think the house should stay, should go. Does it matter to you? We're looking at a summer 6-week trial. What is up? What do you think? There you go. There's a link for you. Like I said, we're going to make some phone calls. We got some people to call. Good morning. The house should stay. Highly, I'll feel better soon. Sending much love and light. Thank you. Thank you. I'm staying here in the Drake Airbnb, so it's been nice. I'm just kidding. It's my joke for the holiday season. House should stay for sure. Stay until the trial. Yep. Since they went ahead and set us a trial date, potential trial date that they're looking at the summer. I mean, what's another, 5 or 6 months? I thought if they're not going to have a trial date and it's going to be a couple years, maybe, but if there's going to be a trial at the end of the summer or at the beginning of the summer, why wouldn't you just keep the house until then? Makes no sense. Hey, what is up there?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I want what Ann wants.
You want whatever Ann wants?
That would be. I don't think there's any evidentiary value in that home personally.
Okay.
As far as like having the jury do a walkthrough, we all live in a home. We know that if someone is being murdered, you're going to be able to hear that. We don't have to examine that home to know whether it was, the acoustics kind of would have helped the two roommates to be able to better hear what was going on. So I don't know what they're going to be looking for in the house.
I don't know. I don't know why you keep needing to make all these trips back and forth. I don't know what's going on. I think that says a lot to their equipment not doing what it needs to be doing if you got to keep going back and forth.
It's not a good look for the prosecution, the investigators.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and agree with you there. I think it's all just like, oh gosh, should we go back? It just shows to me like a rookies are running this.
I do want to bring everyone's attention to when the cleanup crew was at that home. That was on June 27th. And remember that was the date of the hearing where Ann was requesting, that like the training records and etc. And and it kind of, that's really suspicious time for those trucks to have appeared because Ann's schedule was busy. Her hands were tied. So they just kind of descended upon that home while she was in the courtroom. And News Nation was surprised too. There's this article, this video of News Nation, and Brian Enton is not there, but he's in like the office, and there's a field reporter, and they're aghast. They're just so surprised that these trucks are coming there during this hearing. Yeah, but here's what I have to point out to that, and is, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, please do. I always appreciate your comments. So point away there.
So in order for the story to fit that the two surviving roommates were not aware that morning, then there couldn't have been any trace of the crime present outside of the two bedrooms. That is to say, no blood. So two things to point out. If there is a sign of a cleanup, that would be exculpatory to the defendant. And also, if there is any signs that the disaster response subcontractors have removed floors and walls that contain biological material in the same manner as like demoing a house basement that has received water damage, like pulling off the drywall in the floors.
Yeah.
Versus like using chemicals to smear and soak up the biological material. And it seems as though they did that based on that photo of Maddie's bedroom where there was the wall with the cutout section of the drywall. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody, but I believe that photo was taken after the disaster response cleanup crew. But if they're cutting out walls and floors and there's evidence of that, then that will be exculpatory as well. And Ann would know that because she walked in many times throughout these many months.
Yep. I completely agree with you. I think that was saying what the first thing that you said as far as if there was no, the roommates didn't know anything had happened and they're, totally nothing would be outside the bedrooms or, footprints or blood droppings or,
also in that interview of the report that News Nation had at that home on the 27th of June, when the field reporter was talking to Brian Enton, they had mentioned, and there's other articles out there too, they're talking about weeks. Recall that cleanup crew must have been there for several weeks. that's a long time. You can remodel a level of a home in that time. You
Yeah.
can tear out the walls and floors and change it all up. If there's any wiping or cleaning or using agents to, daub up this material, you would still be able to have, I would believe, that would illuminate.
Yep.
You just can't get rid of that.
Yeah. I mean, I just, we see how small that house truly is. It looks deceiving the way that it looks from outside, but that house, you're basically on top of each other. It's very, the rooms are very small. It's choppy. And I think that downstairs bedroom, that's also on the same floor as Xana. They try to tell everybody, remember in the beginning, that nobody was on that floor. Okay. And now, is it because they were lied to by the surviving roommates at first? Or was it because, like everybody wants to say, they were trying to protect the surviving roommate that was on that floor because of like her being a witness and whatnot? Or was it that she didn't come clean with that? Or was it that was just a made up now story? But, the beginning story was that there was nobody else on that second floor besides just Xana living on that floor, and the two surviving roommates were downstairs. Then that changes, and we don't know about that until the PCA comes out, unless you came to this channel where we said Dylan's bedroom is on the second floor. So if she slept downstairs and she knows what's going to happen, why would she be sleeping downstairs? Or, her bedroom's upstairs on the second floor. So my question is, how did that all come about? How did it come about where Dylan is saying that she's on the first floor, or did Dylan ever say that? So that to me is going to be really important. I want to see those reports. I want to see when that came about.
He never said that. Yeah, we think she did not say that.
Yeah, I just see the work that these guys do, and it's like either they don't ask the right questions to get that information out, or people, it's just not thorough. I mean, I don't think people are interviewed as quickly as people are going to see once this goes to trial. I think that Ann Taylor's looking at these reports, like, especially if it's ISP reports. I've seen ISP reports now. I've gone through them, and what they like to do is they like to keep their reports completely open until the last possible second, when then they type it up and then they send it out over to the prosecution. They don't, the stuff doesn't trickle in. Stuff is coming all together on a hard drive or a thumb drive and handed them at the last possible second. And that to me is, you have all your recordings that you're taking your notes from, and it's just very interesting. It's if you're trying to investigate something, you would think that you need to get these reports and these recordings on over to who's ever in the lead. And if it was in fact that Officer Payne was leading this, then there should be stuff that's trickling in as stuff is happening over the 7 weeks. So I am so curious to see how this discovery and the dates and stuff was turned over, and how all that, it was in clumps, in my opinion.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'll leave with this last point to add to what you were saying on that topic. Is June 27th was also the hearing date where Anne filed that exhibit showing the court how the discovery was coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's that. Let's hear from Annie Potts.
All right, let's hear from her. Okay, well, have a good day, Addie.
Thank you always.
Okay, bye, babe.
Bye.
What's up, Annie? How are you?
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Merry almost Christmas.
Merry Christmas, baby.
So I only have a few minutes because I have some guests coming over for our little Christmas swap.
Oh, are you guys having a swingers party?
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't be ridiculous.
I just had to. Merry Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas, honey. I didn't say that to you, so I feel bad now.
No, one of my besties and her hubby are coming over, and we're doing our little gift swap.
Oh, a little gift exchange.
Yeah.
Did you get her anything bloody, like something horish?
No.
You didn't pass on the.
She's not into any of the true. She is not into any of the true crime stuff like we are.
Okay. So
she's actually I chirp her ear off about this case, and she's like, "Okay, listen, I've had enough."
That's funny. She's not one of your murder friends.
No.
Okay.
But even she knows something's wrong with this case based on what I've told her. She's like, that's odd.
Yeah, exactly. Good. You can convert her. So what's good? What do you think? House? You think that they're gonna at the last minute say the house stays until trial?
I think it's gonna depend on whether or not an injunction is filed, but based on everything that I've seen from, the defense side anyway, get out of there, Nelly. My cat keeps trying to take down my tree. I look at it as, so the defense doesn't want the house, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking, like, why wouldn't they want it? Like, why are they cool with it? And I can only come to a couple of conclusions. One being either the house was the crime scene itself was so contaminated, right? That there's nothing they can do with the house anyway. It was tampered with so much that it's not even going to be relevant, Or it could also potentially be where, because they've gone through the crime scene photos, the videos, the Faro scans, all of that, they don't need it. And they know they don't need it. I feel like in cases like this, it's usually the defense demanding that what is normally considered a crime scene not be destroyed or anything like that until after trial. But the defense in this case seems to not care whether or not they have that house or they don't.
Yeah. I mean, girl, they just do everything backwards. I mean, I see the FBI has just been calling all the shots, and they're just, acting like Moscow's still in charge. I don't know. I think that
I'm just looking at it in the sense that, like, if I'm the defense, I definitely want the house. I would want it. But they appear to know fully they don't need it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think there's a lot of behind the scenes talk about it. I think they're doing a lot of emailing back and forth about it. I think there's a lot of behind the scenes talk about the house. Keep going out to the crime scene, like, for what? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, why do you need to keep going back out there? And to me, I guess I would just keep checking to see, like, what they did. But from the last time, did they take anything? Did they, I have my pictures from last time, so let's take another every time you guys go in. Then we want to go in and take pictures, just like what's from the last time you guys went in, So like, the defense keeps going in just to see what the prosecution has done, because I wouldn't trust them. And what I mean by that is to say, like, who's to say that they don't insulate the walls? Okay, these walls were insulated, that they go in there and they insulate the walls when it was the cleanup crew. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because that's going to completely change how much you could hear and how much you can't hear, obviously.
Right.
So if you're going to go in there and start insulating walls that were never insulated, like, that's, to me, I'd want to know if I felt that.
Well, I do find it interesting too that the FBI goes in October 31st, right? And just this past week, last week, Thursday, Friday, the defense went back in, and it's like they know they don't need it. I mean, that's it. It's either really bad for Brian, like these are, and obviously, where I stand on this, like, one of two things with this house. They know they don't need it, or they're fine with it going because it could be potentially bad for their client.
Mm-hmm. I just
those to me are like the only two real.
Yeah.
I don't see why
And
you
then
wouldn't want
it's
the
really bad for
house.
Brian, and the prosecution should want to keep it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like that's my
Well,
catch
that's
there.
what
I
I'm
think both
saying,
I think
like,
both parties are scared of this house. I think that
Right.
both parties are scared of this house.
Yeah. Well, I think that also, this is just personally my opinion, but I think it ties back into who grew up in that house. That's what I think. I think that's who they're all afraid of, would be the person, the person with the biggest attachment to this home.
That's right. That billionaire. That's right.
But
That billionaire.
That billionaire who should be, it blows my mind that we've got a billionaire here, real estate mogul billionaire. Okay. Big in the political field and all of this stuff prior to him. And he takes a job paying him $400,000 a year at his old college when he should be, hitting the links with the Chapin family at BlackRock. I don't understand. This man should be just be retired playing golf for the rest of his life. And instead he's perched up atop Greek Row, peering down on college students. That's just my opinion. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's odd.
I think what's weird is that he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire making, like you said, $450,000 a year. He wants to come back. They wanted him to, they picked him, and he was not, like the crowd choice when, President Scott Green was picked. That was not like the front runner. Like, he's a business minded. Everything's run like a business. He's there to, make money. Right. So then he came up to this, like, we're going to, go and acquire the University of Phoenix. Right. Cloak and dagger style, if you ask me. Very, very, it was very secretive, I guess. And now they're getting sued.
Right.
Is that correct?
Right.
Because of what was it, like not getting permission to use funds and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I remember correctly, he's actually under investigation, something to do with, funds not being used correctly for educate, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got certain families who are just funneling all of their money they make off of their little foundations and their book sales and everything, and selling tulip bulbs back to the college. And, people aren't going to like me for saying this, but I don't understand why a family who is a family of literal millionaires needs to award the first scholarship to the brother of one of these deceased victims. He doesn't need a scholarship. They have plenty of money to pay for his college. So it just blows my mind.
Well, maybe it was more of the symbolic, but I see what you're saying. So I think for me with the whole Coomer Scott Green is in January when they release those 150 names from your boy's Black Book. I'll buy you a steak dinner. We have a bet going. If Coomer Scott Green's name is in that Black Book, I will hit the floor, girl.
I'll bet money. I actually would bet money his name is in there. He is a billionaire real estate mogul with political ties. He's probably been on that plane.
You think he's been
20 times? Oh my God, my friends are here. Listen, I gotta go. I love you so much. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh my God, your friends. Okay, we love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Annie. Love you. Just when we were getting good into it, just when Annie was about to bring the tea on that, me and Annie here, we have a side bet going on if we think Coomer Scott Green is in the Epstein book. We'll find out in January if they release his name. And I said if he's one of the released names, I will personally be buying Annie a steak and a book deal to write about her conspiracy theories. Love that woman. She's a great addition to the Transparency Home Team fam. So the year is coming. It was a year ago, just last month, that To the Transparency acquired all of you guys that chose to follow the Idaho4 case and, came to YouTube and happened to find this channel. And we grew as a community over the past year. And here we are coming up on 2024, which is almost the anniversary of the arrest of Brian Kohlberger. And we're looking at 6 months to a possible trial date, which I think is rather quickly. And I think that's good for the families. I think they go ahead and set a date in stone. But if they're looking at the summer, I think that why wouldn't you leave the house until the trial just in case you need it? But here is the link. Anybody else wants to pop on here? Would love to hear what you think about, the house, stay, go, doesn't matter. But there is the link. And I have to plug in my laptop here. Give me 1 second. All right, she's back. She's back, guys. She's back. We got callers on the call line. Tell us your famous stripper encounter. Just kidding. It's Christmas time. Annie had a run. She was having some friends over, swapping some gifts, guys. Don't get crazy with it. Oh, boy. Again, I am live from my Airbnb out of Drakeville. Get over there. Get over there. Good girl. I'm swimming with the manatee. You guys ever feed and swim with manatee? What the heck? There we go. Now we're full battery, guys. Look out. So News Nation, why don't they just go get a lawyer and have some civil attorney go sue the university? Nobody wants to sue the university, guys. That's what's going on right now. Nobody wants to sue the university. Thank you again to Care and Catherine. Welcome to home team. Totally just chilling, relaxing on a bed. From my conversations is nobody wants to sue the university. What do you think about the state's reasoning for having the trial in the summer? Knowledge is power. I think that they want to have the trial when there's, not much going on around the university. It's dead in the summer from what I've been told. And, gracias.
Grassy ass.
Cheers.
No, this is yours.
Oh, thank you. You want to be a caller on the call line?
No.
Do you have anything to say about the Idaho4 case?
Not really.
Do you know?
Okay, what do you want to ask me?
Oh, I just want to know what you think about, should they keep the house or wreck the house?
What? You already know. Okay, so obviously they need to keep the house because it doesn't matter how much 3D imaging you do, you cannot duplicate sounds, visuals that you might not think of until you're there walking through it. And also, they removed all the furniture, so there'll be even more echoing. They need to stage it. And Moscow has enough money to do this. So everyone needs to stop acting like they don't. And, because the last thing you want is for that to be the reason.
Say it, honey. Spray it. Get going. I love it, girl. Keep on.
You don't want that to be the reason that, everybody, there's an appeal or let's say Brian did it, that he walks because there's an appeal that goes, he wasn't given his due process because the house was torn down. So why are they messing around trying to find out? You know what I mean? That's my 2 cents. Now I'm gonna go jump in the pool.
Are you? Okay. Make sure you cannonball.
Belly.
Belly flop. Make sure you belly flop in there. Oh, well. Well, thank you for that caller there. She personally came all the way over here to do the call. Oh, boy. Yeah, so she says, yeah, leave the house. Why wouldn't you leave the house? You only have a couple more months, guys. Might not leave the house. It's evidence. It's just they leave the schools when there's a school shooting. I agree with what Brian Anton said. This is not just like, this is off the beaten path. This is not on campus. They could totally have put up a fence and put like the paper type stuff so that the fence can't be seen through if you don't want to look at something. There were so many things that could have been done and still can be done to make it so that it doesn't have to be like a sore thumb the way that it looks like right now. I think Moscow is just full of fucking excuses. When I think of like Moscow, I just think of like, dude, you are that excuse. Like you're everything they're everything that you tell your kids not to be. There's no excuses, like, but they're just excuseville. So you go ahead and drop that link again. Again, this is our, hit the link, tell me what you think. I want to hear from you guys. This is probably the smartest group of true crimers out there. Logic, reason, people can say it's greed that they want to take it down, but I truly believe people aren't. It's not like they're not coming or going to the university because of this, because people have such short-term memories. Also, I'm sorry, but 18, 19, 20-year-olds, they don't care. That's not, this isn't deteriorating them from not going to that school. The layout, for sure, one thing is a must-see. Yeah, I think that how close the walls are, like you don't realize how like tight that area is. And, for the person that feel like running or they had the knife, I want to see like if there was be any drop of blood on the ground of carrying this knife from upstairs to then downstairs, like there'd have to be blood being transferred while you're walking. If it's dripping, and then if it's not, you know what I mean? Like that to me is what I want to see. But they should have the pictures to show that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think the sounds are a big thing. They are all liars. They are all liars. My unpopular opinion involves a spiritual outlook. Nobody needs to go at you because of that. That's absolutely acceptable. Yes, it was. It sounds unreal and maybe impossible, but I've seen it done. Well, wonder if Bill still retires in January. Deborah G, this is my opinion. Who gives a shit about Bill? Bill is backseat sitting. He ain't calling zero shots. I do want him to answer, though, because he would have had to be involved in going to the IGG right away. And I want to hear Billy Boy talk about that, acting like he has no clue what the fuck is going on. This is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. You run the show, Billy. You would have had to okay the IGG process, and therefore you would have known right away. And I believe in your interviews, it speaks volumes that you know right away. So using IGG is a last resort, and you guys resorted to it first. Why? That's my question. And then why didn't you use any of the other DNA to make those family trees? Why has nobody searched for this weapon? If Brian went on this loop-de-loop, and then he pings and Bane, like, Blaine, why didn't you go out there? Did you guys send any recovery troop dive teams anywhere over there? It's just whack. I don't know about that. I reserve all of my DNA stuff to asking DNA experts. I think everything about this case is done backwards. We all wondered how you got the name Brian Kohlberger, and then to go make it fit. So it should be interesting. I agree. I care less about Bill. Bill, he's been the one calling the shots and bossing. Billy boy. I think if this town is that corrupt, you guys, you don't get that corrupt unless you got a prosecutor that is willing to look the other motherfucking way, guys. Okay, corruption does not start at the bottom. Corruption starts at the top. So if you believe that Moscow, Idaho is a good old boys, corrupt little town, I'm telling you right now, it ain't because you got these patrol boys running around doing some shady shit. It starts from the top. Whoops, I went ahead and just talked to myself there for about 5 minutes. Great. It wouldn't be a live show if I didn't do that at least once. To answer, Lana, do you think Fry is on his way out? I think that whether or not this is even corruption or whether it's old-fashioned good policing, this is so stressful, and this is going to take, so many years off your life. Only it's been a year, but these people probably every single day, what they've been through, it's probably felt like 5 years. So I believe that if people are choosing to retire, it's because this last year felt like they put in 5 years. So, it is just what it is. Everything they got illegally. I think that they've done some shady ass shit, no doubt about it. I think that Ann Taylor is well aware of the shady shit that they do. And I think the better thing that Ann Taylor is well aware of is just the inept they are not thorough. These people are tunnel vision, and they all come from being trained in the same place. That's why I implore you to watch the stuff that I do on the Drake and the Moore case, because that's the post, man. That's that's how they were trained. This is who's trained them. ISP is a complete fucking joke, what I've seen. And in the good ones, because there's so many good ones out there, they're probably jumped by the bad ones that are willing to do, get their hands a little dirty and do what it takes to climb to the top, And so the good cops are overlooked because they're not going to cover for when a bad cop is doing something shady. That's how I see it. In law enforcement, you don't rat on other cops. And I think that needs to go away, because I'm sorry, but the cops need to be the number one people held accountable because they're such in a powerful position. Same thing with your prosecutors. So I don't see Brian Kober changing attorneys at all. I think that Ann Taylor is doing a really good job. I do. I think that look how many DNA experts she went and got and put all these people in to have themselves heard, and to have hearings about all of this IGG stuff. Okay. If Ann Taylor was corrupt and was part of them, none of that stuff would have happened. Ann Taylor and Jay wouldn't be writing up their motions the way that they are. What came first, the car or the DNA that the FBI is running around in their pockets with Brian Koberger's alleged DNA. Ann Taylor is a veteran. She knows that they do not do thorough investigations, and this is one of those not done thorough investigations. And if you don't believe me, look up Ann Taylor's past cases. Okay, Ann Taylor has, gone after gone after police investigations. That what the heck are you guys doing here? So, let's see. Why is the prosecution dragging their feet on everything? I know they were so quick to just run out there and go get the IGG, right? That's a last resort. Like I said, working backwards. I think that it's too late for Ann to be bought out, to be honest. She's already brought to light things that are, just the order of the investigation, how did you, my guess is that Ann, the way that they write their stuff is that they feel like that sheath is placed. A sheath was placed, that means planted, you guys. Ann Taylor wrote that in a motion right out the bat, guys. Ann Taylor is not going to be able to be bought after what she's wrote. She doesn't need to. This stretches across so many of the agencies that this is not just about the good old boys of Moscow, Idaho. So she doesn't need to be bought. It's already too far stretched. She just needs to rely on getting good, like I said, the DNA experts and having a good investigator. She's a really good researcher to go through all the material. You know how much fucking material there is? I can't even imagine how much material there is to go through with all these reports and to see what's missing then from them. So you need a really good researcher, and hopefully she has a really good researcher. If you have a really good researcher and you're a good lawyer, that's a really deadly combo. But if you don't have a researcher, you can't dig up stuff to then lawyer. Oh, the Richard. What's up, the Richard? How are you?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good day. Aloha.
Hey, good. Hi.
Hey, I'm just waking up, so I'm all crusty-eyed and throat and everything, but I wanted to pop in. Yeah, it's been a year already. Good God, man.
Yeah, it feels like 5, though, for a lot of people that have worked it.
Oh, I can imagine. You guys, well, yeah, it's so impressive. How you been?
Oh, I've been great. Just a couple more days until Santa brings me whatever I want.
Hey, there you go. Speaking of which, after this, I've got to start doing my Christmas stuff.
Oh, there you go. Start wrapping?
No, start painting.
Oh, okay. Even better. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Well, so what do you think? The house should go, should stay? Does it matter?
Obviously, it's got to stay. I mean, it's beyond absurd. Now, I think that there's way more going on, and most of us do. There's way more going on than what we've been presented. This house has way more meaning than just we don't want the neighbors to feel sad. No, it's way more than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so stupid, actually, if you really think about that. Like, when the hell does anybody give a shit about that? This universe doesn't care about that. They don't care about feelings.
Of course not. It's a business. Business is, it's not show friends, it's show business, right?
Mm-hmm.
All about the money, all about the Benjamins, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you know what? Maybe they're just trying to act like they care, whatever. But if people are coming to that town to see that house, it's bringing in money. It's tourists.
A lot.
You know, if you really want to talk about money. But we're talking about just a couple months here if the trial is truly going to start in the summer. And to me, you would just wait the couple months and have your trial, have your house, and call it a day when it's over.
Now I just woke up, so I'm hearing about the trial being in the summer now. Do we have a reason why it's set for summer?
Do we have a reason?
Yeah, I mean, was
you
there?
want me to call up?
something-
I will definitely call if you want me to call up good old Bill Thompson right here and ask him what the reason is that they want to have their trial in the summer. I think it has to do with that there's not going to be students on campus. It's a dead town there. It's a dead zone. So in my opinion, like it's nowhere near what it is popping. And I think that's that favors actually the prosecution. If you were to be there in the hustle and bustle times, and you're going to be going around the house during those times, you're going to be like, oh wow, how like it's mass people could have been coming through here. It could have been anybody that could have done this. But I think in the summer you're putting it in more of like a dead time, so it's like it won't seem like that in my personal opinion.
That makes sense. Okay, think about all the key elements of the situation when it happened. It was right before school break, a school break, and then all the activity seems to be during a dead time, and pushing everything back. Now I'm just spitballing in my head here, though. All of the main activity seems to be during a dead time, or at least that's when they want it to be. So that does make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. They were also talking about like to start something. I think originally it was during spring break, to do the trial during spring break. So like I said, I don't see like necessarily like and they didn't want their they wanted it to be a speedy trial in the first place. So as far as like the pushback, maybe Ann says like we want it to start in the fall. I would want it to be. I mean, is the jury going to be shipped in from a different county? I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. I mean, is Ann Taylor going to ask to have this moved? Does she not? I don't think. I think it's going to be staying right there. They're going to try to get where is this jury pool going to be coming from?
Right. And yeah, it wasn't originally October 2nd or something. And her delay, or the delay, wasn't on her. She did not get all of the material and everything. So it was a forced scenario. They were forced to take a non-speedy trial or lose the speedy trial.
Mm-hmm.
Now the house has switched hands so many times. Since 1976 was the last time it was actually purchased, though it's had several owners for like next to nothing. I think the house has got so much history, and I'm wondering because there's a reason. I don't know why the defense wants it down, though. There's a reason why there's so much pressure to get it out of there, to make it non-existent, to erase it. I'm wondering if there's other stuff in there from the hands throughout the years.
Yeah, I just say that you leave it alone, and that way nobody questions anything. I think that then you get into maybe the fact of like, okay, well then if Brian appeals, we have to keep it up during the appeal process, and the appeal process could take that long. So I could see the only thing that makes them have any type of like argument is to say that, well, if we keep it up until this trial, then if Brian Kohlberger is convicted, then he appeals, he wants it kept up again, through the appeals process. And I say, okay, oh well, then that's what happens. You know what I mean? Like, like I said, put up a nice little fence and do a nice cloth wraparound. But it's
It is what it is.
Was it you who just said earlier, like you don't tear down a school after a shooting?
Yeah. Like there's been school shootings, and you don't see them tearing down those schools.
They might repaint and they might move some lockers around or something, but yeah, the
Well,
walls.
I'm saying that the school has stayed up until there's been these trials and stuff like that. So I don't see why this would be any different.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be treating it any differently. And I can tell you this: it's not like kids moved out of there. It's not like people that were living in those houses were like that. All those houses are for for rent or for like.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like, trust me, it's not impeding their.
They did not lose business.
Exactly. And but see, like that's not even like they don't even have a say in that because like it was gifted to the university.
Now we know that the sound, the volume is going to be a little bit different because it's not occupied by the cushions, the couches, the shelves, and all of that. Though, like you said, the spatial recognition, being able to see at least, okay, there's a corner here, there's a step here, oh, there's that thing where everybody supposedly trips on, that kind of thing. And people, if they tore down walls or out the floor, put up some particle board. Just do that. Jurors are smart enough to know that, oh yeah, there used to be a wall there. Come on now.
You'd be surprised how smart juries are. Juries aren't.
Oh, wait a second. I forgot we're talking about Excuseville, Idaho. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Excuseville.
Good man. Let's see.
But Merry Christmas to you there, the Richard.
Thank you. And let me plug something real quick because I finally do have something to plug.
Okay.
The Richards, well, I didn't know that's going to take a turn like that. No, the Richards art. I started vlogging. I started my first vlog last night because I've been working on my the Richards Traveling Underwater Lounge variety show project. That's what I've been working on for the last couple of years. And I started just doing a behind the scenes vlog last night on my YouTube. It's super casual, though very much an insane look into the brain. It's not a Lana brain, it's kind of the Richards brain. But but you get to see some of the behind the scenes and hear about like the artists, musicians, and all the stuff for my variety show that is coming up that I have been working on. That's why I've not been in chats as much. And I just wanted to say it's all coming together. I love you. Love and aloha to everybody out there. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, baby. Bye, the Richard.
See ya.
Plug it up, baby. The Richard. Make sure you guys rewind that plug. Get yourself a good plug. The Richard says, let me get my plug in. Well, I thought for a second there he was going to pass out some drugs to y'all. Aloha, darling. Wow. Merry Christmas, everyone. God bless y'all, says Misty Jane. Yes. Merry Christmas, baby. Oh, that was a good one. Well, anybody else here want to get a plug in? Here you go. Plug it up, plug away. If you are selling drugs, they have a business card. There you go. Plug it up. Happy holidays, Spore Sports. What's that? Spore Sports. I hear something on the Linda Lane footage. I hear gaming people leaving, girls coming back. Not just me, though. Boston. Hello, Heather. How are you, Boston? Randy, you don't sound so good. Is it getting better or worse? Oh, it's just all it is my sinuses. They've just been messed up. Every time I've been on a plane, I think I get it again. So, but I'm fine. You mean you don't like this sexy voice of mine, Ladybug? I hope y'all have a great holiday. I know. Thank you.
Hi, Heather. How are you?
Good. How are you? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, baby. Oh, look at your little doggy in that picture.
I know I don't have him anymore, but I still love him to be. I had to rehome him, but they're good. They're good.
Oh,
They're
okay.
actually in Ohio.
Not see. Look at that.
I literally, my son and I we rented a car and drove to Ohio from Mass to rehome our dogs after the fire. Yep.
Oh, what part of Ohio?
I have no idea. I just know it took like 9-10 hours to get. We had to stop a few times, obviously,
Yeah.
but yeah. I don't know. Near some call, I don't know. The woman, she's a world-renowned veterinarian. She's awesome, and she works. Yeah, she works and teaches at a big university. So wherever, I don't know if that means anything to you. I don't know.
Well, was it Cincinnati? Was it Columbus? Was it
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati. There you go.
Yes. I don't have much to say other than I obviously agree with you. I love when Annie calls and Eddie and the Richard. It's so great to hear from everybody. And I really just want to say Merry Christmas to everyone. Merry Christmas to Bella. And I just hope everyone has a safe and happy Christmas.
Are you doing anything for Chris or for New Year's Eve?
No, absolutely not.
You're not gonna go shake down the place?
No, shimmy shaking down here. No way.
I'm thinking about coming to Boston.
You should.
I want to bring in the new year in Boston with all those sexy Bostonites.
Well, we both know. I'll just say I'll leave it at people that could definitely, if you wanted to shimmy shake it, you absolutely could. Yeah. I'll just leave it at people that way.
Yeah. Look at Boston. She said, "Yeah, strong. Boston strong."
Yeah.
Well, you're a sweetheart. Merry Christmas to you, and
same to you, and Jax too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, he's been
must be
on
pumped.
one. No, he's pumped.
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh my god, what if Santa brings you coal? What are you gonna do then?
Right?
He said it's not possible. He said he's been such a good boy. I said, okay.
Well, I think all of us agree, and he's way too cute just to get coal. So he's got a bunch of us behind him.
Okay. I'm telling him that he's got the vote. He's got the vote of the community that he's been a good boy. So hopefully Santa doesn't bypass the hizzy.
Yep, exactly.
Guess what he said he wanted for Christmas? He said he wanted Drake tickets to go see the Drake concert in February.
I love that. That is just cool parenting and awesome parenting and an awesome kid.
Like he literally told that to Santa when he sat on Santa's lap. He said that
it's fantastic.
He wanted Drake concert tickets, and I said, "Oh dear Jesus."
Yeah, you're like, oh god, oh no.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
He said he wanted ripped jeans and Drake. So
well, can't be mad at that.
I laughed.
That's adorable, and I love that.
Yeah. Well, you rock, and Merry Christmas to you and yours, and I'm sure I'll see you online here, and
yeah, absolutely you will.
And rock it out. Go do the rest of if you're doing any last minute wrapping.
I am.
Whatever it is.
Yes, Annie's like, I'm doing my wrapping. Heather, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it, Annie. She knows I have a ton of wrapping to do. So.
See, there you
go.
She's
like, oh, my last piece of tape. I'm like, that's nice. Too funny. She cracks me up. But yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas, and
Merry Christmas
I will talk to you soon, love.
All right, guys. Merry Christmas to everyone else. Love you all. Bye.
Bye. Oh, she's a doll. Damn, now I feel pressure to go up. To go up where? Oh, you're funny. All right, guys. Well, I think everybody agrees, even if like you're on the side of Brian Kohlberger did it, or if you're on the side that Brian Kohlberger didn't do it, or if you're on the side of we don't know because we haven't seen the trial. I think, though, that all the sides are in agreement that this house should stay. So I guess my best question would be, if when you get all sides agreeing to something, how is it that it wouldn't? How is it that if you have all these different channels out there, obviously pro Kohlberger did it, people that are, saying that he didn't or whatever. But when you never see America or even the world come together and feel a certain way, and everybody is saying to keep this house, that I just think you got to ask yourself, why wouldn't you? Or why aren't you? Rather, like, how would that even be up for debate? So, and it's pretty sad that if one of the victim's parents has to literally file a civil suit, an injunction to get the fucker to stay. That's pretty, that's pretty next level. You shouldn't have to put a family through that. You shouldn't have to put a family through that. And to know that that's truly the stuff that would have to happen for it to stay right now is you say that you want to help families that have gone and their victims, and you'd be causing them so much more pain. So, and that tells me everything about this university, that you don't give a fuck. So we'll be back to the transparency, keeping it real with you guys. Check out my latest video. Please check out my latest video. It's go and see how ISP and how people that go through the post. You have a wife that came in and she was never interviewed in the murder of her husband. And you need to check it out and see how they conduct themselves. They just didn't even process a car. They gave her the keys. She's calling the shots, and they're over there just admitting to that it's negligent and that they neglected her. It is wild, and you need to see it. Go check out my last video last night. It's only like an hour and 20 minutes, and it's at the beginning it shows you the outline of the area of Bonners Ferry, and then it just jumps right into it. But go check it out. Go get that information. Knowledge is power, man. And I will be back tomorrow to wish everybody the best of Christmas and Christmas Eve. So tomorrow will be my last show until the 26th. So join me as we look back with Brent Kapaka. I want to talk a little bit about Jordan Baker and his lies, and Jordan Baker and his who is Jordan Baker, and how was Brent Kapaka swatted? So, as well as the Idaho4 case. So we're going to trickle all into that, and that will be happening on this Saturday. So tomorrow is Saturday, I believe, right? I can't keep my day straight. Again, take care. Until next time, guys. Appreciate you.
Murdered, and you want to fuck around. You got 8 families that are being affected by this, and they just need nobody from the university.
Shock value. And so what he did was he had taken pictures of California.
Oh, you're from. I would be outraged if I lived in Moscow right now. I'd be lighting some cars on fire out there. I'd be flipping some cars. I'd get the frats going wild. Let's get some noise complaints going.